Hey, what's up guys? Welcome once again to these reviews of news on what's going on with the chemical and process industries. What are chemical companies doing? Where are they headed? What type of products and processes are getting involved? And of course, what are new companies and new very tech companies related to chemical engineering going towards to? And I think it's been 3 weeks since we haven't done this, so I will be focusing mostly the attention into the last 2 weeks, which is essentially all of April till today. Okay, so let me start. Before we continue, remember that I do this essentially just based on the column newsletter. Remember, it's free, it's really awesome. You get these newsletters which are very friendly. And I had a chat with the creator of the column, and I really never thought about it, but of course I see the column structure, right? I see the top, but I never thought about the bottoms, and he told me that the news are trays, so I think that's very awesome, right? So you got the tops, you got the trays, which are the news, and then you got the bottoms, which is always something fun. I think it's very creative on this, even though we are engineers, we are still having some creativity. Anyways, let's continue with the first one, which came in April 2nd. West Texas, Brent are relatively stable so far. Lanxes is now in the battery chemistry business, and this is no news. We already know that companies are investing a lot into batteries. Remember that batteries currently are used by our phones and by our laptops and some other, let's say, camera gear, or maybe a lot of this tech stuff that we use. But more importantly, right now, the battery or companies that are investing in the battery industries are doing so because they know that electrical cars are already here. They need to have the best, the best products to offer and cover the demands of the needs of the market. Remember, this is just a very quick comparison. I don't know if you have ever got the chance to compare, but how long will a full tank of gasoline or a combustion engine will take you away? 400, 500 kilometers maybe? And how much time do you require to fill up a tank? 5 minutes? 10 minutes? Now compare that versus the current status quo of Tesla or other electrical vehicles. How long can you go with a electrical battery? 200, 300 kilometers? How long do you take to charge those batteries? Well, it takes at least 4, 6, 8 hours. That's the problem right now. We need to, the battery industry needs to work towards that. And not only that, also, it's not about just having batteries, great quality batteries, but also environmental friendly batteries and not so expensive batteries. Okay. So what do we have here? What are they making? We saw Lanxes get into the battery game through a joint venture last December. Just in case you want to check it, go for it. Let's continue to the second news. ExxonMobile's chemical plant might get a makeover. I think that's great. Always companies need to reinvest in current equipment, current plants in order to get competitive. According to an incentive filing with the Louisiana Economic Development Department, ExxonMobil is going to be spending or investing $334 million into a chemical plant in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So if you want to check out more on this, probably you're in Louisiana area or surroundings, maybe even Texas, you can check this out. So what's the investment all about? Essentially technology enhancements, essentially making it more competitive, because even though when you build a chemical plant to last maybe 15, 20, 30 years, well, technology comes by and maybe you calculated it's going to be lasting 15 years. Well, actually it goes back to 12 years, and then you gotta spend a little bit on, well, not a little bit, but some in this area of technology. What else do we have here? Okay, let's go to the next one. A new green hydrogen plant coming to Pennsylvania. That's great. Actually, let's check out what is Plug Power, an American company doing hydrogen fuel cell systems. Okay, sounds great. Has announced it plans to build green hydrogen, and I assume green hydrogen is clean hydrogen. For a colorless gas, yeah, of course, I think most of you guys know that hydrogen is colorless. Remember, hydrogen is, you will never see a color on hydrogen. What do we have here? Okay, so let's check out the formal definition, because that's one thing we always take for granted. So we think green stuff is something environmental friendly, but typically there's always something more about. Is it environmental friendly in the sense that it will not be polluting our oceans, airs, soils, or is it more into the account that the carbon dioxide emission was 0, or is it negative? What's this all about, green trends? So it's important to check out the definition. For a colorless gas, hydrogen sets refer to in very colorful terms. Okay, Wood Mackenzie. Oh, actually, I remember my friend Daniel Bermudez. So if you want to check out the podcast episode, he works currently in Wood Mackenzie. They are not exactly an oil company. It's more about the research and what did they do. So essentially, from directly Wood Mackenzie, green hydrogen production landscape. So what is hydrogen? Is the production of hydrogen via wind and solar energies using electrolysis. So that's one thing I'm pretty sure not so many engineers know about it. When we talk about green hydrogen, maybe you're thinking about hydrogen which is environmental friendly. But what exactly is that? Well, in this definition is hydrogen produced via wind and solar energy using electrolysis. So now you have a more formal definition of green hydrogen. So that's great to have here. Most of the gas that is currently used, I would say black hydrogen, but currently they call it brown. If it's made through gasification of coal or lignite, which is essentially a special, like a form of coal, let it be, it's gray. So if it's from industrial chemistry, it's brown. If it's from coal, it's gray. And if it's from steam methane reformation, which is going to be most likely going on in a refinery, it's going to be also gray. Okay. Neither of these processes are exactly carbon friendly, which is the point. You gotta be carbon friendly in the sense that either you are not producing carbon or CO2, or you're taking energies such as wind, solar. Okay, a cleaner option is blue hydrogen. So to be honest, guys, I never heard about blue hydrogen, where the gas is produced by steam methane reformation, but the emissions, okay. So in this sense, they capture the CO2, which is not actually a solution for the long term. Or let's say it's just hiding. The problem is when you spill something and you just cover it. Okay, no one's going to see you, but the spill is already there. Green hydrogen, okay, the same thing, eliminates all emissions. What else do we have here? Turquoise. Well, actually in French I think it's turquoise. In English it's turquoise. Sorry for the pronunciation. But this is actually something I never heard about. The turquoise hydrogen might seem relatively low in terms of emission because it can be buried or used for industrial processes. So if you're using carbon dioxide that was produced as a byproduct from hydrogen, then you are converting that hydrogen source not in gray or not in brown, but in turquoise hydrogen. So that's interesting. So I think great things to know about hydrogen. Even though you may be an environmental engineer, so I think it's always useful to go back to basics and remember the formal definitions on what's green hydrogen. For instance, in this case, I never thought it was going to be about wind and solar energy, but that's great, I think. And what else is going on? Okay, ExxonMobile and Porsche are testing biofuels. So that's great, means that they are still investing into hydrocarbon-based fuels or not. I don't like to say that because it's actually biofuels in the sense that it's not hydrocarbon per se, but it's from bio sources such as corn or material that can be grown. And what else do we have here? What are e-fuels? So they currently branded this as e-fuels, or synthetic fuels that can be produced using renewable electricity to generate hydrogen. Okay, that wasn't what I wasn't expecting that. How does it fit into our climate strategy? Transportation sector. Okay, strong history. Okay, so to be honest, I didn't expect this to be from hydrogen. I expected this to be biofuel, mostly like corn or something like that. But apparently we're talking about hydrogen. Okay, so that's great. If you want to check this out, and I think this is important, especially if you're chemical engineers or you like cars. It's always great to see how chemical engineering matches our love for cars. This plant in Tokyo is producing 50 kilograms of hydrogen per day from the sewage. Damn. I love Japanese, how they are. If you've been to Japan, you know that Japanese have this special culture in bathrooms. They have very great cleaning aspects on going to the bathroom. You have like even like coal, you have a bidet, they throw you water, which sounds kind of strange, but to be honest, it's very hygienic. And doesn't surprise me if I had to guess a country making hydrogen from poop. Well, Japan is definitely there. So you want to check this out, you can do it. Essentially, I just want to know the source. How are they producing from sludge? So essentially, I think they're okay. The waste is heated to a high temperature and converted into a gas from which pure hydrogen is extracted. Okay, sounds great. The world's largest steel company wants to use green hydrogen in Germany, so that's nice. I don't know. Okay, to be honest, I didn't know that this was an important steel manufacturer. If you're into that, construction, all that, definitely go and check it out. And we made it to the bottoms. Remember bottoms as distillation column? I never related until the creator told me this, that the bottoms is like the distillation column. It goes all the way down. So please enjoy this gift as your reward. To be honest, if I were in a lab, I wouldn't be that relaxed to see my samples moving or being shaken. Or I just assume something's going to happen, either going to fall or crash. So actually not relaxing, but kind of stressy. April 5th, let's go a little bit faster. Price is relatively okay, not so many changes. Sumitomo Chemical and Accenture form a digitalization. So this is something that's going on very strongly, digitalization. So how are we converting all the processes into a more digital world, cloud-based, automated, AI, actually here, AI, analytics, automation. So essentially what I was telling you guys, essentially this like conversion of old school to new school. Covestro acquisition last year finally went through. Okay, so if you remember, we talked about Covestro in, I don't know if last video or previous video. It's a company, chemical company. Let me check. Yeah, on polyurethane and polycarbonates. What else do we have here? Okay, Deja Vu back in October. If you want to check out this news, let's go. Two of China chemical companies are merging. State-owned Chinese chemical companies, SinoChem and ChemChina. So that's kind of funny to have two like chemical companies being in the same government, and they are both government owned. One is for petrochemical, petroleum and fertilizers, that's SinoChem, which I assume comes from Sinopec. Okay, no. And ChemChina, which is, let's see, chemicals, well, not so specific. Have received approval from the Chinese government to merge. Yeah, that sounds kind of funny. So it's like me saying, okay, so I have this cake and I have this, I'm my own nutritionist, so I'm going to say, okay, you deserve it, it's yours, no problem. Of course, we are going to be okay with that. This is kind of funny. I know there are some rules for Chinese government, but state-owned Chinese companies, who is telling you or what's going to happen you have a monopoly there. And you are the controller, you're the owner of those. So that's clearly a conflict of interest. But anyways, they're doing great in the sense that all chemical companies in the midterm are going to have something to do with China. Okay, ChemChina, 46 billion acquisition of Syngenta, which I didn't know that it's Syngenta. Okay, from Basel. Okay, they have a lot of headquarters, but I didn't know that ChemChina bought Syngenta, but the big purchase hasn't paid off. Okay, so what now? Okay, so they're having problems apparently from the U.S. security concerns. I don't know why the U.S. is actually able to have a word in something of the Chinese government. Oh, okay, so most likely some of them have some jurisdiction in the US soils, so that's why they have some problems there. And this is what amazes me, 150 billion each year, so roughly the size of BASF, Dow, and DuPont combined. So if you remember, I don't know if you saw my video on the largest companies, BASF is currently selling about $66 billion each year, meaning that it's almost half of these like monster conglomerates. So that's something to think about, guys. BASF has been in market since almost, I would say, 1920 something. And get this image, the Chinese are overcoming all that in less than 30 years. So the biggest chemical company is going to be like surpassed by a lot by the Chinese companies. So get that go into your mind and see how important or how interrelated are going to be the supplies or the chains of supply, the supply chains of chemical companies in the future. Everything is going to go through China. So that's something to think about. Anyways, okay, about some grants. Chemical company just received BMW and Daimler got together with BP to talk about charging stations. Once again, guys, talking about batteries. I agreed. Okay. Puma Energy. I don't know this company. At first, I thought this was like Puma, the tennis. Oh, actually, yes or not. I'm not quite sure, guys. Please let me know in the comments if you know if Puma Energy is actually from the shoes. Okay, no. Thanks God, no, that Puma shoes are not related to this company. Let's go a little bit faster. Petroleum, actually, West Texas Intermediate going below 60. That's great. This company raised more money for chemicals with lights. I think we can skip that. Occidental will help make banana genes produce ethylene. Sounds interesting. Still, I don't think it's something relevant. Shell's investment will help convert corn into jet fuel. That's already like classic stuff. In where is it? Shell. I think we were talking about this being in the US, in the Midwest, I think. What else is going on? Okay, chemical companies. Mura read this about Texas petrochemical shortage affects everyone. Well, of course, if you're talking about Texas, which is the state with the most relevance in respect to oil and gas, it's going to affect the US. And if it affects the US, it's going to affect almost all the world. So yeah, makes a lot of sense. Let me go. Okay, I don't want this. So okay, so I will not be able to read this. That's a shame. The Canadian government gave Inter Pipeline of 400 million USDs to build a petrochemical complex. I'm assuming in Canada. Propane dehydrogenation and polypropylene production facilities to operate in early 2022. Okay, interesting. And we made it to the bottoms once again. Let's keep going faster. Danimer is going to produce lots of PHA in Georgia. Okay, PHA are polyhydroxyl alkanoates, which are essentially kind of like plastics or monomers naturally made, polyesters, sorry, from bacterial fermentation. Agilex and Amsty are going to recycle in Louisiana. I think we talked about before Agilex. Yes, I even remember the landing page. Great. Total is converting waste cooking oil into jet fuel. I mean, it sounds great. I don't know how huge of this will be. French legislation, 1% biojet fuel by 2022, then 2% by 2025, and then 5% by 2030. Maybe that's why they're making this trend. BASF made the cathode that powers NASA Mars rover. So these are the interesting things I see on life, that chemical engineers are there doing stuff. Okay, no thanks. Are doing stuff, but it's not like the very thing that you will imagine. You don't see a chemical engineer. If I tell you chemical engineers help NASA go to the moon, or that is not typically something that you will expect, even though it's happening. LyondellBasell got a new sustainability certificate. Okay. Linde Engineering is working on this trend-setting green hydrogen project. Once again, talking about green hydrogen. Okay. I think we can go a little bit faster. West Texas Intermediate still below 60. This blue pigment will be used in sodium ion batteries. Very important. I think we talked before about sodium ion batteries. It's kind of similar to lithium ion. Of course, they have some differences, but overall, the idea is to get to know those batteries and see if they can work. So if you're into car batteries, definitely go and check this out. This new gasoline technology has no octane boosters. Okay, remember octane boosters are all these materials we add to gasoline in order to increase the octane number. When you increase the octane number, you increase the performance of the gasoline, which allows that gasoline to be sold at higher prices. Once again, we're talking about Honeywell, UOP, 100% naphtha into high octane gasoline. Okay, that sounds kind of interesting, especially if you're in the oil and gas industry. That should be interesting. UOP, which is the branch of Honeywell, is Universal Oil Products, I think. I don't remember. Yeah, Universal Oil Products introduced a continuous thermal cracking process back in 1920. Then the FCC, which is the fluid catalytic cracking. And then the CCR, which is a continuous catalyst reforming platform. Okay, talking more about on how we improve nowadays is using MTBE, ETBE, and ethanol. But with this new technology, which sounds very interesting, actually I will check it out by myself later on, more slowly, and see what's going on, because I actually think it's very important. One of the main goals of a refinery is to improve the octane rating on gasoline. So this is hardcore stuff for that. 2 Korean companies will make biodegradable plastics. I'm not that much into plastics with PLA, but sounds great. Always welcome to have biodegradable plastics. And let's go here. Sapic, Versalis, Rhode Island, Alfa Laval. More progress from this waste to polyolefins project. Okay, so one thing we can also check out from the newsletter is that we are seeing a lot into recycling or using waste as a raw material for either energy or other products. That's great to hear. Clariant wants to sterilize more plastic in China. So remember that stabilizers are a material that we add to polymers, or let's say actually monomers, before they actually form polymers. They help to, as the name implies, stabilize, and they perform better. They will not break. They will have better tensile strengths. They will have better force or strength. They will not break, all that stuff which is relevant for plastics. And apparently Clariant, which is always great to check here. So remember, there are a lot of companies out there, guys, always know about them. And maybe, who knows, they are in your country and you can apply for a job if you're looking for that. So it's always great to have them on mind. Next one, Avantium's bioglycol demonstration. Okay. MC, the US, Shell's ethylene oxide catalyst will be sued. Okay. Prash Industries will build India's largest sugarcane-based ethanol plant. Okay, I'm assuming this is like huge stuff right here. 600 kiloliter per day. It's huge. So that's also great. If you're from India, you can check out this. So definitely they will require a lot of engineers for the operation. So this is always great news to have, or to know that at least they're happening, and verify whether or not, if you're into this type of industry, go and apply. Why not? Maybe you can get a job or a rise or a promotion. And last but not least, this one is actually very fresh, 5 hours ago. As you can see, the West Texas increased to $63. Chevron and Honeywell are making alkylate, alkylation units with liquid salt. So you want to check out more on Chevron, Honeywell, definitely worth it, because those are the big, let's say, those are big oil companies. Go for it. Over half of the world's refineries use alkylation units to convert isobutane and light alkanes into a mixture of isooctane and isooctanes, which later are going to be mixed in order to have high octane gasolines. As stated before, one of the main goals of a refinery is to produce gasolines which are high in octane rating. So what's special about this technology? Until now, alkylation units use either sulfuric acid or hydrofluoric acid, but right now they're using a ionic liquid, which I assume is safer, most likely technically more suitable, and hopefully safer and more environmental friendly. Lithium Cycle plans to recycle lithium ion batteries in Arizona. So I'm assuming this is a company for batteries or recycling batteries. A unique and dependable approach to solving the global battery recycling problem, which is, of course, one important problem. Okay, I'm not that much into recycling those batteries. I'm like more interested on how we are producing new type of batteries, but of course it's important to see where are these batteries ending up. And of course, recycling is always great, especially if you convert it into a profitable business. Phillips 66 inches closer to renewing one of its refineries. So this is something I see a lot in this newsletter, that refineries are getting renew or makeover. That's great, especially because it makes relevant to the process, but also great for those people working there, because it means that they are actually investing in that unit or business unit, meaning that their jobs are, let it be, more safe, quote unquote. What else do we have here? Okay, essentially they are doing this because they want to produce more. They want to produce more units, hydrocracking units. Okay, yeah, great, what you will expect. Air products, TP, Vulcan Energy. Okay, yeah. I think, guys, we are done. So that was it. I think it was a lot for 2 weeks, but I will try to make this weekly, guys. But to be honest, it's kind of hard to keep track on time sometimes. To be honest, I thought that I made this 2 weeks ago, and when I checked the deadlines, I was like, I think I haven't done this in 3 weeks. But guys, what do you think about the trends? A lot of electrical batteries for vehicles, a lot of refineries getting improved or invest on, a lot of recycling, a lot of bio stuff, plastics or so. So I do think it's great to hear that we are going on the right path. And those are trends, like global trends. Doesn't mean that, of course, we see a lot of like China, India, Germany, USA, but it doesn't mean that your country is not having that. Remember that all chemical products, all chemical trends become available to other countries in 5 years, 10 years, but eventually what you're seeing here, it's going to be the status quo in your country. So guys, that was it. Thank you for bearing with me this news. I will try to make more, let's say, more videos, so you don't need to spend that much time into this. This was supposed to be very casual chat. It's now over 25 or half an hour, but just let me know what do you want me to focus more, because I did skip some stuff which in my personal opinion, or at least for me, are not that interesting, or I want to skip them. I don't want to make this video so long. But maybe you want to see more on batteries, more into smaller companies, more into mergers, more into hydrogen technologies. I don't know. Let me know, guys. I will try to do my best, and I'll see you in the following video. Bye bye.